This is exactly where I'm going, what I've planned to do, and I've gone over this dozens of times. And right now, what I'm working on is it's going to take me 3 hours. I'm going to allot myself 3 hours, so I take it really easy, take a lot of breaks. There are two potential trailheads. Let's start at the highway. This is just after you get past the turnoff to Timberline Lodge. You're not going to take the Timberline Lodge turnout. This is a different exit, and I'll probably go over to Google Earth so you go down to Street View so you can see exactly what this turnout looks like. We're here on Highway 35, and I think it's the Mount Hood Meadows ski area parking. I think that's up in here. You can see the ski lifts up in this area so that you know, orient you with Mount Hood. This up in here is the Timberline Lodge ski area. Timberline Lodge, let's see, the parking lot would be right here. Timberline Lodge parking is right there. And you've got all this ski area. Palmer Ski Lift is right here. The Magic Mile's right there. But that's not where I'm going. I'm going over here to Mount Hood Meadows. This is the Mount Hood Meadows ski area. And if we go down to the highway, this would have been one of the exits that'll get you up. This would have been one of the exits that take you up into Mount Hood Meadows. But that's not where I'm going. I'm going to be taking the exit that's further down the highway from Mount Hood Meadows. I mean, just in fact, it's possibly one of the offshoots that takes you to one of the other ski lifts, like this one right here. You can see this ski lift would you could enter this ski lift from this parking area, and you'll notice that this is one of the trailheads I could take. If this is closed off, I'll have to take this trailhead. Ideally, I want to take this one, so this is plan A because it's shorter. 100 feet in elevation difference between the two. I'm going to drop down on Google Earth in a second here to show you what it looks like at Street View. But right now I'm going to show you the trail's going to go. It's basically the Elk Meadow Trailhead. I know that it says Elk Meadow Trailhead at this trailhead start point. I don't know if it says that up over here. Okay. But like I said, this will be my first choice because it's a 100 feet elevation difference from this, and I want to just take as quickest path as possible. So anyway, this is mostly flat ground, and I've got it marked off to where these bold contour lines, I have put the text and the dot right there so that it's easier to read it. So at a 500-foot elevation gain above the parking lot, I put a mark right there. What I might do is take 10-minute breaks. I'm going to actually take a break every 50 steps I take, and they're just like a breather that you take about a 1-minute break. But at the end of a 500-foot elevation gain, I might use those as intervals to take a 10-minute break as opposed to just a break where I don't sit down and I just kind of breathe heavily for about 3 minutes and then continue on. And that's basically most mountain climbers. That's what they do is they count their steps and then they take a break as they're going up. Otherwise, they're going to get fatigued and their muscles are not going to be able to use their muscles. And hopefully, I will be able to make this work. So this is a 500-foot elevation change right here. I'll probably do a break right there. If I find myself, when I make it to this point, I'm absolutely feel like shit and I really cannot go any further and it's just all I can do to get up there and it's taken me 2 hours just to get to this point, I'm going to go to a plan B, which will be to photograph, and I'll be out in this meadow someplace. And the only reason I'm going out in this meadow is because there's no trees out in here. This is mostly surrounded by trees, and this will be the least amount of hiking if I go up into there. plan A is to get all the way up to where I'm up on this trail out of the trees, and the photograph can be taken. I could literally go down at this. This is the same elevation as the Elk Meadows. This is actually lower in elevation than this up here. Okay. I think there's 1,000-foot difference between here and here. I may not be able to get all the way up here. Let's say I'm just absolutely, it's all I can do to get to this point, and I'm just completely just wanting to give up, and it's ridiculous. But I don't want to not get photographs, because you can't photograph from here because you're going to have a bunch of trees in the way. Plan B would be to go up into this gully, and I'm at this point, I am at the same altitude as I would be at Elk Meadow, and the line of sight where the sun is going to be shining is going to be along this line, and I'm really close. I'm really close to the visual line of sight needed to see this. So this may be doable from this point, or even down into here. So, but ideally, if I'm physically feeling great, taking the breaks, I'm going to ideally want to be up in this area here. And I only need to be up as far as possible so that I can see it from that point. And it looks to me like this right here, because I need to be able to view in this direction. This might be, this mountain might be blocking it, but I don't know until I get up there at what point can I see it? At what point can I see the top of the mountain, as I come up here? I'm going to pause the video and go over to Google Earth so that you can see exactly what it looks like from street view on that turnout. Oh, and while I'm here, this is Elk Mountain, just so that you know where to find this on a map. Okay, here I am on Google Earth, and the whole thing's in 3D, and I can move around and you can see it. But I'm trying to hold my phone as I'm doing this. Anyway, the alternation is the trailhead is right here for Plan B. Plan A, they might have a gate closing this off. I'm not sure, but I don't understand. It's possible they close this off for doing repairs on the ski lifts, and they don't want anybody up here. So this might not be accessible, and if that's the case, I'm going to be doing it from, there's a parking lot right here. This is the Elk Meadow trailhead, and right now I'm going to drop down into Street View so you can see what the turnout looks like from the highway. Gotta wait for the blue line to show up down here. Oh, I guess you can actually see this too. All right. Okay, so there's the sign. That's the sign where I'm going to be. There's the road. This is coming back the highway. That's what it looks like. Exit Street View. So everything up into this part is going to be, that's 1 mile going to the river. That's 1 mile of flat ground, easy peasy. Now we're going to be climbing. This is a 500-foot elevation change. Even though I feel great, everything's wonderful, I'm probably going to do a break right here. This is a 500-foot elevation gain. I'll probably sit down for 10 to 15 minutes. I get 3 hours to get up there, so I might as well take it easy so I don't hurt myself. Because of my health condition, I really don't want to get hurt. That's not going to be fun. This would be a good break point at 500-foot elevation change. I might even break it up to every 100-foot elevation change I take a break, but I've got to distribute the time to get up there within 3 hours. And if I'm absolutely dog tired by the time I get up there, I'm going to go out to Elk Meadows. This would be Plan B. I really don't want to photograph from here, but I'll do it if I have to. But this is about a 4-mile distance from the summit. But ideally, I want to be up in here. And you can see this little ridge right here. What I don't know is how much of Mount Hood can you see from over here. the least amount of hiking going up in here and getting past these trees would probably be in this clear area right here, up on this ledge, up on this ridge. So I might have to go off trail, take a beeline over here. So I don't want to fall off this thing. There's a lot of bushes. I don't think it's even hazardous because I'm pretty good about staying the hell away from the edge of things. But if the view is obscured from all these trees and I've got to be right up on that edge, it looks like this is even a better spot. So the only reason I'd be here and not here is because these trees are in the way. And if these trees are so tall that I cannot see anything from right there, I'll go back onto the trail and continue on up. And I might have to get all the way past this ridge. There's a ridge right here. So this would be that's why I'm going to allocate 3 hours to this. If I find that I get up in here and I can't make it, it's just way too much hiking for me, but I'm stuck in the trees, can't do any photography from here. There's another trail that comes down into this valley. And it might be possible to photograph from this point because at this point right about in here, it's the same altitude as the top of Elk Mountain. But I'm like within 3 miles, which makes it an excellent photo point. The other thing I'm really very curious about is there's another trail that comes back on the other side of this. And my question is this an easier trail to hike? And if I could photograph from here and hike through this area, is it easier than going this route? Because this is 1,000 feet difference between down in this gully and up over here is 1,000 feet. And I would like to not have to hike that 1,000-foot elevation change. And it's possible that this might be a better route coming around this way. But ideally, I'd like to get this elevation gain. So that what I'm getting at is it's all contingent upon how I feel. I could end up here. I could end up down in here. But it's pretty much a small area to have to trace any of this. If you were a very healthy person, you could climb up on here. If you're looking for me, and then you would come around this way. And I'm going to be along this trail. And I'm going to try to put surveyor's lathing tape around any tree. If I get stuck out there and I have to sleep, and I have to go off trail because I don't want to be sleeping on the trail because the damn bears and the mountain lions use those trails too at night, especially the mountain lions. I will go off trail, but I will use surveyor's lather tape. I'll wrap it around a tree, and that stuff is either going to be red or bright pink. And I got to go to a surveyor's shop to get some of that. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. That's my plan for Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Ideally, I want to be leaving on Monday to give me 2 good weather days should I get stuck up there. All right, that's all I got.